Hi everyone, I'm back. Okay, I hope your night was good. No, seriously, it's the same day. That's why I'm wearing the same clothes and stuff. And I don't have makeup on yet, but I did go get my glasses. I want to recap on my first video because there was something that when I look back over my notes that I wish I would have included, and that's the Power Angel video, which I will be redoing that. But for now, I want to make sure everybody gets the whole message. And sometimes what the Lord will do is He'll give me stuff in segments where I'll see the vision and get a message right away, or I'll get a message later about it when I ask Him about it, or I might get the whole message and then not get anything else, or I could get parts of a message and then parts of a message later and parts of a message after that. I have noticed a thing that I recommend is everybody carry a little notebook with them. And when you start to get a message, or if you get visions or you get whatever, start taking notes in it. I mean, it's that simple. At least if you take notes, you will remember what you saw or what you heard or what you're supposed to do or what you felt. All of these little details could mean so much more. I like to try to grasp all, I want to say all 7 of the senses. I think that there is a supernatural sense that many of us don't tap into. But to me, the feeling could also mean something. The hearing could mean something. The seeing could mean something. There could be a tiny detail that changes the whole meaning of the process. And God's a very detailed-oriented individual. He's very creative, but He's very detailed. If you take a look at nature, some of the things are done in such a minuscule way where you see the detail of it. If you take a leaf and you look at underneath a microscope, you see all these different lines, thousands and thousands upon lines on a little leaf, let alone on what He has for everybody else. So detail is important, and it's good when you write things down. That way you don't forget the details. And if you had a certain feeling, then you should include that feeling. Or if you saw something, I also believe also in the Synthetech, and I have some of the Synthetech's experiences where, and I remember when I was a little girl, I used to argue with people that water had a taste, that I could see the wind and different things. Well, now researchers are calling these Synthetech people who see the wind when no one else can see the wind, or you taste the water when people say the water doesn't have a taste. But water from the mountains and water from the city, I could tell the difference when I was a little girl, which was which. And I had people tell me that water didn't have no taste, or you couldn't see water, but I could actually see color in water. You know, songs have different colors that flow out of it, which sometimes you can see that in vision. Some people see that in real life. Words. They can see the words as colors, or actions as colors that wouldn't necessarily have colors, at least not according to the scientific world. So this is all part of the spiritual world, that everything that you can hear, you can see, and everything that you can see, you can hear, and everything that you can see and hear, you can taste, and everything you can see, hear, and taste, you can smell, and everything you can smell, see, hear, and taste, you can feel on some level. And then there's the whole thought sense. People sense things in their thought, and they're like, oh, I know this, I don't know how I know this, but I know this. I think that's a sense. So anyway, with that being said, just a little tip that people should carry around, a little notebook. And then when the Lord gives you something, record it. And then you can share it on a YouTube video with us all. And it would be awesome. We need to start sharing more with each other in the body, because the more we share with each other, the more we become connected to each other. And the stronger we become connected to each other, the stronger the church can come up against other forces that have been breaking it down. It's time the church stop huddling in the corner and start standing up and coming together and standing in strength with one another. And then grabbing our other brothers and sisters that are falling along the way. Not letting the enemy have anybody that he should not have. That's my goal, is to make sure the enemy doesn't have anything left that he should not have had to begin with. So, anyway, a recap on the first vision about the power angels. The power angels were called power angels because they were wearing red, and they had, their power was the joy of the Lord. So they had these big smiles, and I felt happiness, and you could tell they were happy. Yet the Lord was saying they were power angels. The thing of it is I should turn Yahoo off when I'm doing this. the thing of it is that the power angels work on the power of the joy of the Lord. And when we worship and when we praise, we start receiving the joy of the Lord. And as the joy of the Lord intensifies, then there's power in that. And the enemy has to flee. Walls come tumbling down. When they walked around that building for 7 days and the walls came down, it was because they were worshiping and they were praising the Lord. And the joy of the Lord is what knocked that down. Just like the joy of the Lord goes out ahead of them as they were praising and worshiping. And most of the battles, at least all the battles that I read about in the Bible, started with them praising and worshiping the Lord and believing. Faith has a lot to do with this. So when you praise and you worship the Lord, you receive the power of the joy of the Lord. The joy of the Lord gets inside of you. I don't know anyone that can say that they were praising the Lord and did not feel this happiness and feel the happiness intensifying and growing. That's why we dance a lot of times in different worship songs. Well, my church, we have dancers. So I know that a lot of times I've gone in churches and I've seen some people getting really excited like they wanted to dance, but they were holding back. And I'm like, let them go. Explode them. Explode them. Because I love to see people get lost in the Lord. Anyway, but this joy in the Lord is very, very powerful. And the Lord released the angels, the power angels that carry the joy of the Lord. With the ushering in of the joy of the Lord, the walls will come down. And His love starts filling the atmosphere. And whenever His love starts filling the atmosphere, then it's His love that's going to permeate other people. It's going to do healing. It's going to create more signs and wonders. You're going to see really spectacular things are going to getting ready to happen in this earth. You're going to see the dead getting up, and not one story every 2 years. You're going to hear about it all the time. It's like, they raised the dead over here. They raised the dead over there. I'm not going to be surprised when I hear these, because the Lord told me that it's going to start happening more and more. And the more that people start flowing in the prophetic flow, and the more they start ushering in the joy, because ushering in the joy gives so much power. And then all you have to do is realize who you are and your authority under Jesus. Now, you have to make sure that you know that your authority is only the authority given to you by Jesus. So that's an important factor, so it doesn't get skewed by the enemy and our pride step in, and then we end up on the wrong side of the road. We don't want to end up on the wrong side of the road. But wouldn't it be wonderful to see the dead coming up? Wouldn't it be wonderful to see babies healed of diseases, or to see people who are so hurt stand up and start singing and saying, it's gone. He dried all the tears. It's going to be an awesome time up ahead. So, but the ending of this, and you can refer back to the first video to get a more detailed